So after a week of solid traveling, just really being disconnected from my businesses completely, I'm actually now here at Anna Marie Island, and I'm going to be here all month. And there we go, just to prove we're out here. Florida with its bridges. And it highlighted something that I used to struggle a lot with, still do to a certain extent, which is micromanaging. And it's always put out like a dirty word, like, oh, you shouldn't micromanage. Well, when your business is small, you kind of have to do that. And I know us owners, we get that very defensive thing when people say, oh, you're micromanaging. You're like, well, no one else can do it. But the reality is that, once you start trying to build a team, you've got to start breaking away from that. I have to be involved in all the processes. And so the micromanaging side, that's when it kind of becomes like a negative on your business. It's when you first start, it's an absolute plus and it's a must. You have to do everything. Once you start growing it, this is when you have to transition. And, a really good test, and I bet you every single business owner has done this, you go away for a week. And you take a vacation maybe for a week, and that's a really good test of whether or not you still micromanage. Because if your business catches fire, or no sales are happening, or the staff are all revolting, or sales are not, accounts receivables are not happening, if basically just the functions of the business are not happening while you're away, then you're still micromanaging. And there's plenty been written about that, of like, oh, these are the signs and you shouldn't micromanage and blah, blah, blah. And the advice is, to me, honestly, I think the advice out there is normally pretty useless, because it's normally telling you what we all know. And we all know it's like, well, you've got to get people in and you've got to put them in positions and, and hand over that authority to them. We know as owners that's difficult. I actually found something, and I started doing this about 6 years ago, is the first person, and even if you've already got, an established company and you've got, your sales team and your accounts team and you've got, kind of everything in place, if you're realizing that you're still micromanaging too much, it's probably because you don't feel that anybody really understands it like you do. A really good thing, and I for the life of me, I can't remember who suggested this to me, but I remember being in a conversation, it was probably about 8 years ago, but I only started doing this about 5-6 years ago. Somebody said to me, go out and find somebody like you. Just go out and find somebody that has an entrepreneurial spirit and who has run their own business. And immediately I kind of kicked up, sort of the negative side. I'm like, well, if they're not doing it anymore, then they probably weren't any good at it, and isn't that a weird way to do it? The point was made to me, and I love this. They said, no, there's plenty of reasons why people won't do their own business anymore. Maybe family obligations, it could have just been a change in circumstances. There's so many different reasons. And nowadays, especially certainly in the last 10 years, there are so many entrepreneurs out there who, for one of a myriad of different reasons, are no longer doing it. They would be ideal, because those are the type of people that understand the ability to be multifaceted in a business. And as a business owner, you want somebody like that in there. You want somebody who can really understand that, just that sales isn't just their job, or accounts isn't just their job. You want that person who can take care of it. That's your first step in really getting, sort of a proper CEO installed. Even though if you do consider yourself a CEO, if you're still micromanaging, it will allow you to take that step back. It will give you something in there. So I'm interested if any of you guys out there have used, sort of similar tactics, or, what you've used to really step back from the micromanaging stuff that we're all kind of guilty of. But like I said, yeah, that's what I do. Go find somebody that's walked a few miles in your shoes and take them on. They don't have to be the world's greatest salesman. They don't have to be the world's greatest bookkeeper. That's not the point. You want somebody that can understand the big picture. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And yeah, I look forward to reading them.